If you're in need of a new cozy life simulation game, then let me introduce you to Kynseed. Kynseed is a whimsical intergenerational life sim. It was initially released in early access on Steam over 4 years ago, and the official 1.0 launch drops on the 6th of December. It's been a long time in the making, and that definitely shows. This game is so intricate, so detailed. I was lucky enough to be gifted a copy and have been playing around with the new features. So I thought, what better way to demonstrate this to you than to show you some of the cozy fun that you can have on this game. And trust me, there is a lot, so don't expect me to cover it all. Let's get started. For number 1, we're gonna start off with cooking, because this is one of my favorite things about this game. It has to be one of the most intricate mini games for cooking that I've seen in a life sim game, and I love it. You first start off with a few basic recipes, but don't worry, you discover lots more throughout the game. And once you have gathered the ingredients, you can begin your journey to becoming the best chef in Quill. The realism of having to chop your ingredients, roll them out, put them in a saucepan, there's just so much to it, and it is really refreshing. It is just so interactive, and I love that. I love that about this. For number 2, we're going to talk about making friends or enemies. There are so many NPCs in this game, which means you'll never be sure of someone to talk to. You can have positive and negative relationships with these characters, which is a nice twist and makes it different from some previous life sims that I've played. You can have conversations, give them gifts, and they may even tell you some juicy secrets about their neighbors too. They all have likes and dislikes, so make sure you speak to them on the regular to find out what they're after. I love that there's so many NPCs in this game. It might be a bit overwhelming at first, but I really like to pay attention to these storylines and the information they're telling me. So if you're someone who's in it for the storylines, then this is definitely something that you'll like about this game too. Next up, we're going to talk about exploring. The map is huge, and I love the pixel art style of this game, so exploring is definitely one of my favorite things to do, to go around all of the different areas and find all of the beautiful things, from farms to waterfalls, ponds, there's beautiful flower fields, there's burial grounds, there's ruins, there's so much, and I just need to see all of it. There is also a little challenge of mapping out all of these areas too, as in each section there are particular stones which you must find. And don't worry, the map is quite easy to get around, as there are different ways to speed it up, including riding your pig, which I love that, that's so funny, and also fast traveling, but you will need to save some of your apples. For number 4, we're going to talk about crafting. Yes, I know we're supposed to be talking about fun things to do. I, for one, normally find crafting to be a dull task, particularly where there is no multi-craft, but that is a gripe for a different game. Kynseed has a different approach and much more fun than other games. In the apothecary, you can craft potions, powders, and creams, and you can also become a blacksmith to forge a number of different items using metals that you mine. Like we saw in the cooking, these both have their own fun little mini games, which are really, really nice to play, and it just changes up the pace of the game every once in a while, so it's nice. I like it. For number 5, we're going to talk about making money. Capitalism has seeped its way into Kynseed, and making money does seem to be a big part of the game. There are a few different ways to do it, and you can really end up becoming a business mogul. Earning money is a spectrum here though, and you start off at the bottom, earning your pocket money from your uncle, and then you work your way up. You are able to sell items in shops, hire a stall to start your empire, and then eventually you can run your own business. Once you are the big boss, you can hire and fire, set wages, schedules, and unlock perks. Eventually you can access specializations, which unlocks perks, and you can change the way that your shop looks. For number 6, we're going to talk about farming, because what would a farming sim be without the farming? Kynseed does farming without the frustration, and it has more intuitive tools. For example, you do not need to constantly refill your watering can, and the plots are pre-selected for you, removing the chore of having to dig out the plots, then plant the seeds and water. It just makes it simpler. I like that about it, and I did find it more relaxing, and I definitely wanted to do farming more. Overall, I think this process for farming and the experience is much better than other games. In at number 7, we have caring for animals. Alongside farming, you also have the ability to care for animals in the game. There are pets, which include dogs and cats, and then you also have the farm animals. The interactions with the animals are really nice, including the ability to pet, feed, and some you can even ride. You can obtain produce from some of the farm animals, and you are also able to purchase more at auctions, so keep your eyes peeled on those calendars. The names in the game are also 10 out of 10. I mean, sirloin, come on, how funny is that? In at number 8, we have fishing. I am normally one to moan about fishing because we see this activity in every single life sim, and most of the time it's pretty hard going. But like with the farming, Kynseed has made fishing easy. It's a lot less arduous and a lot more enjoyable. The game mechanic is pretty simple. You just put your rod in, wait for a fish to bite, and then reel it out. There's no bars, there's nothing you have to fulfill, which I really like about this. There are so many different bodies of water throughout the map, and you have to hunt down different varieties of fish, which is nice. You also have the ability to level up your skills by completing tasks set by the Master Fisherman Twig, so there really is an incentive to do it. Next up, we're going to talk about collecting things. I find this really fun. I might be in the minority, but if you're a perfectionist and like to find everything in the game, then this is definitely going to appeal to you. Whilst you're out exploring your new land, which we've already covered is pretty big, do not forget to keep your eyes peeled for things to collect and forage. Throughout the map, there are exciting things to find, including little proverbs, which will teach you more about particular items, books to read, which again, you might get a few hints and tips now and then, or you might just get a nice little story to read, and plants and different like forageable items, which you may need later for certain recipes, so keep hold of them or sell them for a few little bits of money here and there. Overall, I think this is just a fun thing to do whilst you're exploring the map, and I do love learning new things as well. For number 10, we have mining. Mining is another fun activity that is commonly seen in these form of life sim games, and this one doesn't really vary greatly, as you can imagine. There isn't much you can do with mining. However, there is multiple mines in Kynseed, and you are required to unlock the mines, so there is a nice little challenge there, and the more that you mine, the more materials you have, so the more you can do crafting wise. So it's an added bonus. In at number 11, we have combat. Once you've completed the first summer, you will unlock the ability to be able to participate in combat against these monsters. You will need to use all of your wits to win against these creatures to earn yourself some interesting loot. It's a nice change of pace from the rest of the game, that's for sure. Next, we're at number 12, and if you're someone who loves quests, then this game is full of them. There is plenty of main quests and also side quests. There's even a notice board in the village if you're getting low on something to do, which, trust me, I think would be near impossible. All of these quests kind of help out local villagers and progress the storyline, so they're really fun to complete, and some of them vary quite a bit, so that's interesting. Next up, we're on to number 13. Hopefully this isn't unlucky for everyone, as we're going to talk about marriage. That's right, you can get married in the game. So if there's a particular NPC that takes your fancy, then you can seduce them and get married. And what would a marriage be without a celebration? So yes, there is a little ceremony. Once you get married, you also unlock bonus stats, an extra incentive, I'm sure. You can date and marry nearly every NPC except masters. You can also attempt to procreate, and if successful, the stork will deliver your bundle of joy. In at number 14, we have events. There are a number of different events set throughout the year in this game. Some are calendar-based competitions and others are dances. Some of them are one-off events, so you'll have to see what happens in the game, and hopefully there'll be some nice surprises. I found a few different things out at the market, keeping an eye on things. There's even things such as auctions as well, just to bear in mind. So if you check your notice board regularly and pin whatever things do come up, you won't miss anything. And finally, at number 15, possibly the best one of all, is the storyline. You need to sit back and enjoy the story. There is so much content in this game, but there is definitely a central storyline running throughout, and I won't spoil it too much, but there is a healthy amount of fairy tale lore and a little bit of fae magic for added good measure. The developers have definitely emphasized that you have a lot of freedom to do as you wish, to do complete things, quests, etc. And this is especially true as if you don't finish your current storyline with your character that you're playing, you can continue as your chosen heir. So having children is very important, but don't worry, if you decide not to, or if you don't have time, then you will get an orphan child to take on your storyline as well. So that's it. That is 15 fun, cozy things you can do in the latest update of Kynseed. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't considered this game before, I would definitely recommend it. Many people will consider it to be like Stardew Valley, but this game is something else. There is so many differences here, which I think I've exhibited here today. So let me know if you're looking at playing this, or if it's something you're going to add to your wish list. And I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.